Hi viewers, welcome back to another episode of Breakfree Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the business work, promote business, lifestyle, motivation, and inspire you. Please, guys, we're also on YouTube and on Facebook, so please like and subscribe. And today we're in a new location in Piala, and we are here with property agent Loots Coetzee. So, guys, if you're interested in this is the episode for you. And I have a wonderful guest, Natasha. Natasha, please tell the viewers who you are.
Hi guys, I'm Natasha Plaatjies, all the way from Atlantis. I'm a property practitioner for the past 10 years. Yeah, that's who I am.
Good to hear. But before we get into it, we're just gonna go back to your background. Like, where did you go to school?
Oh, I attended Atlantis Senior Secondary, worked in a manufacturing company for about 10 years, started my real estate journey with Atlantis Realtors as a receptionist. And after that, we moved to a company, a very big brand, and also as a receptionist, and that's where my journey for real estate started.
So, like, before, just after school, did you ever think you're gonna go into the property, or did you have an opportunity to study something else?
Yes, I did office admin. I studied office admin. Hence the reason why I started with Atlantis Realtors as an administrator. But as I went into the property business, I started to get interested in selling property and just doing what I do.
Yeah. So, because of your years of experience of doing work, what was the best lesson you learned in your time for it?
While I was
In a
working
workplace,
in manufacturing or real estate.
in both.
Okay, manufacturing, in manufacturing, there's not much real growth because you go to work, you do the same thing every day. But in real estate, each and every transaction is different, and each and every day you still learn.
So it's more of a learning curve for you.
Yes.
So when you started going into it, how did you guys start like in the marketing? You can take us through it.
Okay. When I started in real estate, I started as an administrator, which means I had an advantage when I became an agent because I knew the background about selling property, what the process is, how it works. And then after that, basically the company promoted himself because it was a big brand.
Okay.
But as we moved over to Loots Coetzee, we started promoting more of ourselves and not the brand
But why did you do that thing?
because we wanted to do more for the community and not a brand.
Oh, okay. So in the property game, what is the hardest in your personal opinion?
What is the hardest
Yes, selling property.
for selling? What is the hardest in selling a property?
Yes.
There's never a hard moment because each curveball we take and we make it a lesson.
Okay. Can you give an example of one of the lessons?
When my saddest moments is when there's not a hard moment, it's a sad moment.
Okay.
It's when my client gets declined. That's a sad moment. If the bank decline you due to whatever reason, credit score, affordability, whichever reason, that's the saddest moment for me. But never have I experienced hard moments.
How did you feel when you signed your first client's house? Or when you did a sale and it went through, everything was done? How did you feel it?
Overwhelmed. I cried when I handed over the keys. I cried. It's a best feeling ever when you hand over a key to a client, especially when it's a friend or a family or someone you know personally.
Okay. Um, in what is the negative parts like, if a property was staying? I know normally they say like I don't know if you guys have like in 3 months or in 6 months the property need to sell. But if it's staying longer than it, what in your opinion, what would be the negative parts?
What usually happens is when a property is on the market for a long time, the longer the property is on the market, the less the interest of the clients shows less interest. And hence the reason after the first month we go back to our client, we do price counseling, reduce the price, open houses, push the marketing. But in most of our cases, we've got pre-approved buyers. So as soon as there's a property on the market, we contact our pre-approved buyers. Hence, our properties is not on the market long.
If you can take us through the process of the registration, we do the transfer of the house and the stuff, the costing, is there a lot of um, costing involved or how does it
Yes,
work? Can you take us
yes.
through that?
A buyer is responsible for two costs when buying a property. The transfer cost, that's to register the property onto your name, and bond cost, that's to register the bond cost on your name. That cost depends on the price of the property. But what we do for our clients is we go an extra mile. None of us have got 30,000, 40,000 rand laying around. So we do apply for the FLISP, the government subsidy. There's few requirements there that you need to meet in order for you to qualify for that. But most of the time, the governments pay that cost for our
Okay.
clients.
So that is basically what you can say the hardest thing to before you get a property actually.
No, that's not the hardest thing. Like I said, I never had a hard moment, but I
Okay.
had sad moments.
Yes.
We make it work. We make it work.
So let's say take us to when you're gonna sell the house because I know there's some compliance certificates that you need to do.
That's for the seller.
Is it?
The seller is responsible for compliance certificates, outstanding rights, outstanding money on the property, and obviously commission.
That's the
That's
thing.
what I work for.
That's the best part for you.
Yes, but only after the property register we get paid commission.
Yeah, and how long did that take?
Up to 3, 6, 12 months. I've got a property in Mamre that's been busy with transfer for 3 years.
Yeah. So what do you do with that time now? You
Luckily, I've got other sources of income. Like I've got a husband working. I've got rental income.
okay? So
Yeah,
at least there's not just one depending on this
yeah,
one.
yeah. My household is not completely dependent on my commission.
But just think in your mind, if imagine it was just that, it was just you. I
And I
would
would
get
have worked hard, harder than I'm working now. Not that I'm working hard, not hard. I'm working hard, but I would have worked harder.
I want to know, man, what advice can you give to the viewers in when either you're selling or buying a house? In your opinion, what advice can you give to them?
When selling a property, be realistic. Do market research. Be realistic. And when buying a property, make sure you know what you qualify for in order to afford the property, and then the process can go smooth.
Okay. Um, how do you deal with? Because I know you have a busy schedule. How do you deal with your work-life balance between your family and selling the house? You need to move to this location because you need to get to the house. You need to show the people the house. How do you deal with it?
I've been in this business for 10 years, so I get my way around it. I've got a supportive husband whom I call saying, listen, I need to be in Mamre at 6 o'clock. Can you prepare this and that and the other? And luckily, I don't have small children. I've got a teenage daughter. I only have one child. So I've got a teenage daughter who manages around the house, who's busy driving herself around. So that makes it more comfortable for me.
Do you? Because I know you say you but I don't want to say the word, but you but oh, you personally still have in future plans.
Yes, eventually I would like to own my own real estate business.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
So
would
that
like
is
to
what you
do.
basically working to.
Yeah, to own my own real estate company
Um,
and to employ the youth of Atlantis.
in the
Mamri
system,
Piala and all surrounding areas, not just Atlantis. Sorry, Marshall. Yes.
in because you're talking about the youth now, why do you say that specifically that you need to want to employ mostly the youth?
Because the youth is the future of tomorrow. You know, they need some of them just need guidance, some of them just need a breakthrough, some of them just need that helping hand, someone who can just push them to their limits and you know,
Mm. Just that
yeah,
supportive system.
the supportive system, yeah.
What motivates you?
To get up every morning,
Yes.
knowing that I can help a client, I can assist someone with buying a property, I can assist someone with selling a property.
Okay. So, um, so Natasha, I just want to know because I know the government also do the subsidy. Can you take us through the process?
Okay, it's called a FLISP subsidy. You get three types of subsidy. You get a finance link, where your income needs to be 22K in US. If you're married, it's combined income. You need to be a South African citizen and you need to have dependents. Then you get the individual subsidy where your income needs to be 3.5. You need to be a South African citizen. You need to have dependents and you need to be on the waiting list for 10 plus years. And then you get the plot and plan where the government, you need to have a registered plot on your name and the government builds your structure on the plot. So that's the first subsidy requirements.
It's just a requirement.
Yeah.
Since you've been talking, let's go into it now. I basically want to buy a house from you. How do you come to me? Let's say it's a million and I have a million right now to buy a property. What do I need to do? I come to you.
Okay. Listen, you see the property on property 24, you're so interested in the property, right?
Yes.
The first thing I'm going to ask you, is it going to be cash or is it going to be through the bank?
Can you take us through both processes?
Okay, if it's going to be cash, it's going to be easy going. I show you the property, do a viewing. You're so interested in the property, I do a viewing. We do an offer to purchase, meaning you put in an offer to buy the property. I present it to the seller accepts your offer, and the figure documents, the offer to purchase goes to hopefully Loots Coetzee because they conveyance attorney. So we take it, we just send the paperwork to them, and then the transfer process starts. You'll be liable for transfer costs depending on the price of the property, right? If it's going to be through the bank, it's going to be another process. You show interest in the property, I saw you do a viewing, you do an offer to purchase. I gave you offer to purchase to the seller. He accepts the offer, and also now we need to apply for a bond. We've got a beautiful bond originator we work with. A beautiful lady, she's very sufficient, so we work with her. And then if you qualify with the bank also sends out a valuator to come value the property. If the valuator's valuation is okay, then the transfer process starts.
Okay. So it's worth a lot of information to the viewers. How do you know? Because you also do speak about in your case you have like support from a husband and stuff. What about if someone wants to go into property but they don't have the support that you do? What advice would you give to them?
What I would basically say is, I not only have I got a supportive husband, I've got a supportive colleague as well. So in that case, if I can't make it to a viewing or if I can't make it to an appointment, I can pick up my phone and ask her, can you please go do that viewing? Can you please go see this and that client? So I think it's very important for you to before you go into property, make sure you've got the structure to support you.
Okay. Because that is obviously that is where they can make or break
Yeah.
in the property. Okay.
So on a personal level, I've got my husband who supports me, who keeps the household running. And on my personal side, when I can't make it to appointment, I can always pick up the phone and call my colleague and ask her, can you please? Because if I see my client the first time, if I meet my clients the first time, I introduce her. So from day one, you'll be familiar with her. You'll know her.
Oh, yeah, because that could be like an, let's say, see the speeds up and the client never saw it. It's also like you can actually lose the client.
Yeah, that's why our first meetings, I always introduce her to my clients and vice versa. So if you can't get hold of me, you won't get hold of her.
So we come basically to the end of the show. We just want to give you, you just need to give motivational words to you. What is your motivational words for them?
Just believe in yourself. If no one else do believe in you, believe in yourself. That's all. Yeah. Listen, and before we go, so I should get a video. My contact details is 083 We do valuations for clients, no obligation valuations. Evaluation is when you want to sell a property, we give you a market related valuation. We've got a system we use. So if you need a valuation, don't hesitate to call me. My contact number is 083-893-2424. My email address is natasha@lcilaw.co.za. If you can't get hold of me or I'm busy with the podcast just now, you can contact my colleague Lazan at 078-1688-589, and her email address is lazan, LEZANNE, at lcilaw.co.za.
Say that to you.
Ja, dat is erbij. En hij is mijn marketing.
Okay, guys, we'll see you in the next episode.